What's up, guys? My name is the Psychedelic Kid, and today I have the next episode on how to climb out of every elo to diamond. And we will be talking about gold to plat. So if you have been looking to escape gold and been struggling with it, this video is going to give you all the tips and tricks that I've learned to get out of gold. Now, I do want to mention that it is the start of a season. The season just started. So if you are struggling right now, the games are weird, man. You can't... It's such a mess until everything like settles out and everyone kind of gets more in their respected elos. It's going to be a crazy mess. So if you're struggling right now trying to climb and you're going backwards and not doing well, just give it some time. Give it till, mid-February. It should start to even out really well, and then it'll be a little bit more consistent. But yeah, hope you all enjoy the video. I will see you all in there. So guys, the first thing I wanted to talk about, as always, will be lane and champion selection. Now, I know if you've watched my last two videos, I've been a broken record about this, but it's for good reason, and here is where it's really going to start to matter. It's good to learn other lanes, yes. It is good to learn other champions, yes. But what really is going to help you climb if you are struggling is playing a small set of champions and one lane. You're going to get auto-filled, and that's fine. You do your best in that role and pick the best champion you can for you in that role. But to consistently climb, you're going to want to stick with your one lane and learn it as best you can. Learn how to manipulate the wave, how you want it. Learn when to push. Learn when to TP if you're top. Learn when to rotate. So you want to stick to one lane. And as for champions, you have two options now. Things are going to be getting a little bit harder. So you either want to A, pick a one trick, which means pick one champion and only play that champion. Now I know it's going to get kind of boring. I was a Warwick main last season. I played Warwick, I think like 700 out of my over 1,000 games. It gets boring. But it helps you climb. You learn to master your champion early, and you learn exactly what you can do and when you can do it. Some people, what they do, they'll make Smurf accounts, and they'll what's called limit testing, which means they'll play their champion and they'll just try different things and see how far they can go and really push the boundaries and learn those boundaries, which is a good suggestion if you are looking to one-trick a champion. So either pick a one trick, pick one champion, don't make it something super weak. That's just going to make it harder on yourself. Pick one you like and have fun with. It doesn't have to be the strongest, but just only play that champion and have, a backup or two, but only play that champion. The next thing you can do, and this is a little bit harder, but still very good, is called being a meta slave, which means you only play the strongest champions for your role. Now, you can pretty much pick any of the S tiers and know that they're going to be good for most of the season. I mean, look at Graves. He was S tier, I'm pretty sure, the entirety of last season and is still currently one of the strongest junglers in the game. So it's going to be harder learning new champions based off of what's strong, but they're strong for quite a while for the most part. Sometimes you'll get like an Amumu where he was really busted when they made the new items and then immediately nerfed to garbage. I mean, not complete garbage, but he's nowhere near as strong as he used to be. But for the most part, they're going to stay S tier for quite a while. So if you do decide to go the meta slave way, you want to pick your champions that you want that are meta and strong and only play those champions. And when it switches and they make your champions that you were playing weak and new ones strong, switch it and only play the other champions. It's going to take a little bit more time to get used to them and to get good with them and to master them, but it is an effective way, and it will help you learn how to play around, different situations more with different champions. So guys, the next two things I wanted to go over is, one, turn off your chat. I went into detail about it last video. You don't need it. It's useless. It's only going to hurt you. It's not going to help you. So turn it off and only communicate via pings. And number 2 is laning. Now, you're in gold. Things are going to start getting a little bit tougher, especially the higher in gold you get. You know, if you get to gold 2, gold 1, it's going to be a big difference from gold 4. It's going to every little interdivisional elo is going to start to change a little bit from here on out. So, people are going to trade better. They're going to farm better, and they're going to play their champions better. So this is also why I stress one-tricking a champion. You want to learn how you can trade and when you can trade, and make sure you have that down, because it's going to start getting tough. Another thing, I said this last video as well, look up wave management. Here is where it's really going to start to matter. You didn't need to learn it in silver and bronze. You can get past it. It's helpful, but you can get past it without learning wave management. Here you want to start learning. I don't have a video on it, but there's hundreds of videos on YouTube. I suggest you guys go take a look and make sure you learn. It doesn't take that long. It's pretty easy to understand. I might do a video on it in the future, but just learn it as early as you can. It will be massively helpful, and it's really going to start to matter here. The next thing, as a laner now, doesn't matter what lane you are. I don't care if you're not support. You have to ward the map. You have to ward and watch out for the jungler ganks. You have to ward and get vision control of objectives. So you have to start helping out. So, also, you can go look at other videos. Look up your lane and best warding spots. Something I highly suggest, especially for warding times. They go into details like if you notice the jungler started bot side and you're playing top lane, what time to ward specifically, so that way you can see him if he comes to gank. And this is ultimately really going to help you out in lane and your team out later in the game. So focus more on warding, and then also watching your minimap. Now this is where it starts to get huge. If your junglers get invaded, look and see if you can go help without losing like a huge wave or an objective. See if you can go help him out. You need to start rotating and watching your minimap so you know what's going on and you can best help for the situation. And you know, you might think, well, I'm a top laner. Nothing really happens much up here. But you can still be extremely helpful watching the minimap when you're top lane. You know, most top laners take TP. So especially if you've taken TP, look and see what's going on in the map. One TP bot lane could change the whole game. If your team's getting pushed in and you have a ward ahead, TP down, help them win. Yes, you're going to lose some creeps up top. You might even lose a tower. But if you win that fight and can get something else off of it, maybe bot tower or Drake or something else, it's really going to be more beneficial to your team. So start focusing on the minimap. Make sure you're not getting ganked or not dying to ganks, and it's really going to help you out to getting through gold. And one more thing on the laning topic, and also why I stress, make sure you one trick or are only playing a few set of champions. Here is where you want to start to be aggressive. You want to punish the small mistakes your laner makes. So don't just kind of sit back and kind of, you know, do your thing and farm all game. You want to push him out. You want to get ahead. You want to beat whoever you're laning against. So if you see them overextend and you have all your abilities and you know that they just use theirs and some of them are on cooldown, go in and punish him. Force him out of lane so that way you can farm better and you're making him lose XP and items. Say you did well at the start and you're an item up. Be aggressive on him top. Don't let him take that CS. Stand between him and the CS while you keep continuing to CS and just watch out for ganks. Make sure that, you know, he's not like moored and can just ult you and you're dead. So make sure that you are just using your lead, getting a lead and using your lead as best as possible to deny the enemy laner or enemy team as much gold and objectives as you can. So guys, the next thing I want to quickly go over is items. And the reason we are just going to quickly go over it is because it's mostly the same as the last video. So if you want to take a look at that, I went into more detail. Link will be in the description down below. But you're in gold now. No more op.gg. No more Porofester. You can look at them and see what are good items to build and then build according to that. But don't just build the same items every game. You need to change it up. You need to look at what you're up against and build accordingly. You know, if you're having a tough time playing mid lane and there's certain champions you're not doing well, like say you're against a Zed mid, get a Zhonya's early, okay? You know you're going to need it later in the game if he's bursting you down. It's going to be extremely helpful. Just get it early. Same with anti-heal. You know, if you're against an Aurelia or a Darius top, you know, if you're extremely ahead, you can maybe skip the anti-heal and get it later and just build damage items so you can keep punishing him. But you really want to, you know you're going to need the anti-heal later, so you really want to buy it first, especially if you're even. It's going to help you out a lot. So start switching up your builds and see what you can buy to help you best win the game. So guys, the last thing I wanted to go over is macro. And by macro, I mean the things you do after the laning phase is over. So the big things you do that help you win the game. It's the bigger picture, you know, objectives, towers, Baron, Drake. You need to start looking at these things and making sure you're denying the enemy and getting them yourself. So another good thing, warding. Later in the game, you got to make sure you have a control ward or something you can do to set up vision for objectives. If you get the Drake first, go clear the vision or set up vision. That way you know when they're coming and you know when you can fight. You gotta do these little things. Another thing, mini map. Like I said earlier, huge thing. You got to start watching for rotations. If you are, say, killing it mid and you see the enemy AD carry solo pushing bot and you think, oh, I can easily kill him. It'll take me 2 seconds. It'll be quick in and out. If you don't have vision on the enemy team, you got to make sure you are very careful going down there. You don't know what they're doing. They could be on the top side ready to push a tower. They could be ready to push your team, or you could go bot lane, go to get the kill, go in, and then find out, oh no, the whole team's here and you're dead. And now you're dead. They're able to push the turret and you just screwed yourself out of a ton of gold and a ton of time. So you got to start focusing on warding, making sure you have vision, making sure you're controlling where the enemy is, and getting objectives. Baron is huge, okay? If you get 3 kills or 2 kills, you say you take a team fight, you get 2 kills, don't push the mid turret, don't push the bot, don't push the top, go get Drake or go get Baron. More importantly, Baron. If you can get Baron, then you can apply pressure to help you win the game. Now, say you're in a situation where you are doing better than their team, they're winning team fights, but they're playing it really safe and you can't dive quite yet. You want to make sure you're playing it smart. If you're able to group up with your team, group up, go force them to fight over an objective. If you get a few kills, take the objective. If it's Baron, go and just pressure waves. You know, you don't have to stick with your team all the time. You can go pressure top while they pressure mid, because the Baron minions are going to push a lot better than the other minions, and you don't even have to dive. You can just kind of sit there and let them do their thing, and eventually you will get the turrets. You don't always have to play it hard to win the game. You can slow it down, take a look at the bigger picture, and just play safe. That way you're denying the enemy gold, XP, and objectives to help you win the game. And one last thing, guys, on the topic of macro, you want to make sure you're not taking stupid fights. Now, you already know what stupid fights are. If you're losing the game and you can't 5v5, or you're going up in a 1v1 and you know they're super fed and you can't win it, don't take the fight. What I mean by this is, say you're going to ward Baron. Your AD carry goes in first, wards it, gets picked, and dies. Don't fight over Baron. Don't continue the fight just because the fight started. If you know you're going to lose the fight, it's better to just back off and, you know, ping your teammates to back off. If you're really strong and can 4v5, then by all means go for it. But for the most part, that's not going to be the case. If they get a pick on one of your strongest people in the game, you're not going to be able to win the team fight. So there's no point in trying to get as much out of it as you can, if that makes sense. So say your AD carry gets picked, right? You can go in, you can probably get a kill or two, but if your whole team dies, then they're going to be able to take the objective. So ping them away and just walk away and go to a lane and push that farm. If you're a jungler, go farm your jungler, see if you can go to the other side and take their jungle, and just kind of pressure objectives. Like, just kind of hang, maybe if they got a kill at Baron and they're looking to Baron, kind of hang around, but don't fully commit. You just kind of want to play back, play safe, wait for your team to come back up. So just be very careful in the team fights you pick. You know, don't take stupid ones. If you're a man down or you're losing, you say you get in a team fight, your whole team was alive, a bunch of you missed your skill shots, you're all out on cooldowns, and you lost 2 players and they're all really low. You don't really need to go in and chase. They're most likely going to kill you. I mean, if you can go in and kill them and carry, like I said, if you're massively ahead, by all means, go for it. But if you're not and it's even, don't give them more kills or more map pressure. Just go back, defend what you have, and try and pressure the map. So guys, that is going to be it for this video. Once again, I do want to remind you that it is the start of a season and the rank system is a mess. So if you're not doing well right now, keep your head up and just do as best you can. You know, sometimes you don't do well for the first few months and then you can really pick up. Just work on yourself, get better while you can, and there's plenty of season left to go. So don't be all down if you're not having a good start. But that's it. I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure if you enjoyed the video to give a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And I will see you all next time.